there, today is Thursday, March 13th. It is 3:30 p.m. and the temperature is a pretty nice 6 degrees Celsius. Now I'm here at the intersection of Yonge and Eglinton. And this is in midtown Toronto. It's turned out to be a pretty nice day. It was rather chilly this morning. And I'll be doing something a little bit different in this one. As you are most certainly aware, there's a bit of a trade war that has been brewing. It's been pretty much Donald Trump versus the world. And along with a lot of rather unnecessary tariffs he's been implementing, he's also been threatening the sovereignty of Canada, often referring to the Prime Minister as a governor and repeatedly saying over and over again that we would be better off as a 51st state, a sentiment which virtually nobody, at least nobody sane on this side of the border shares. So what we're going to be doing is heading into a local supermarket, and I'll show you what they've done. They've put little Canada logos all over all the products, that are either products of Canada or made in Canada. And I've seen a number of people checking the labels on the groceries they're buying and making sure they're not buying American products. I guess nothing brings a country together like the threat of their sovereignty. Here's Metro, my local supermarket. There's also a Farm Boy and a Loblaws around the corner, and I think they're doing something similar, but here you see Metro helps you support Canadian. Look for the maple leaf on the shelf. There's an announcement going on in the store about just that. I think it's a given most of these prepared foods would be Canadian. And it's kind of ironic that Donald Trump ran on the platform of lowering grocery prices and inflation. He has succeeded in failing tremendously at both of those. There you can see yellow onions, product of Ontario. A lot of fruits and vegetables are not in season in Canada. For instance, these Spanish onions, it says product of USA. Jumbo red onions, product of Canada. It says breaded Alaska. Fish there, but no product of Canada marking. Nothing in that fridge. Most of the fruits and vegetables will be imported. There we go, mini cucumbers. You can see product of Canada right there. That one actually comes from Ontario. And assorted color sweet peppers, product of Mexico. So they are labeling where everything is from. And I've seen a number of people checking the labels on the stuff they're buying. This is a cereal I buy, and I know they're Canadian, but they haven't labeled it. Well, that's probably because it's imported. But it's a Canadian company, at least. You can see here Canada on the Maxwell House. If we look at it, oops. There you go, Toronto, Ontario. So a lot of American products might be packaged here. There you go, Canada, Canada. This red label does not mean product of Canada. Canada. So this gives you an idea as to what it's like to shop in a Canadian supermarket right now. I think Loblaws is putting a T on anything that will have a tariff on it. It's kind of funny that Donald Trump has said that tariffs are not a tax when that is pretty much exactly what they are. They're paid by the importing country. And they are most certainly contributing to inflation and a very unstable economy in the US. Again, kind of the opposite of the platform he ran on. I think it's a given this dairy is Canadian. They don't even label it. But you can see Atencia.ca. Extra large eggs, $4.63 Canadian. Egg prices have gone up a little bit here, but nothing like in the US. You get this large 30 pack for $9.69. Somebody said they saw Coca-Cola labeled as Canadian. That might be because it's bottled in Canada. Product of Canada means it's mostly from here, whereas made in Canada means the last substantial transformation of the product happened here. So yeah, this pop here was bottled in Canada, at least. The Pepsi was.
Diet Coke was on sale for $8.99. That's why I was gonna grab it.
Coke Canada.
Be sure to check your receipt for your unique serving combo code. Want to earn Y points faster?
And one of the reasons cited for this trade war is that they say the U.S. is subsidizing Canada, but that's a fundamental misunderstanding of how trade works. That's why I kind of wander the Young Eglinton Center here. A trade deficit isn't inherently a good or bad thing, nor is it a subsidy. I think you'd have a hard time finding an economist who would disagree with that. They pitch it as the U.S. subsidizes Canada, which is not true. In fact, the trade agreement between the two countries was touted as one of the best ever, and that was negotiated by Donald Trump. And if you take away the subsidized energy, or rather the very low priced energy that Canada sells to the U.S., the trade deficit's actually in the other direction. I think to the tune of over $50 billion. As I've wandered into the LCBO, the provincial liquor store, where they have pulled all American alcohol off the shelves. Our Premier Doug Ford ordered that, but most premiers across the country have done that. So everything's labeled by country, but rather than empty shelves, I think they've just spread everything out. They've got this maple leaf on the products that are from Canada. It means most of the American beer is gone too. Although Miller here, bottled in Canada. Bud Light as well. Mostly Ontario craft beers. There are interprovincial trade barriers that prevent us from being able to buy craft beer from other provinces, but those are in the process of being dismantled right now. Sake, soju. I remember getting bottles of this stuff for $1 from Korean supermarkets. And the big one that's been hit is bourbon. But there is no shortage of Canadian whiskey, Scotch, and Irish whiskey. And all the American brands are gone. It's also worth noting we spell whiskey correctly in this country with the Y, no EY. But you can see the shelves are pretty bare behind, so rather than leave them empty, they've kind of spread out the existing liquor and pulled it forward. I personally have been doing my part. I've been buying Canadian as often as possible and trying to support Canadian businesses if I'm going out for fast food. I haven't ordered anything off of Amazon in eons. And I don't have any subscriptions to American services other than YouTube Premium. And it's worth noting, it's not... Here, I'm going to go up these stairs and up the back. It's nothing against the American people. I think our countries are quite close still. We definitely have a lot in common and a lot of common values. There's certainly no ill will towards most of the people. But when you're under attack, you got to do what you got to do. This country was cruising to what would be a landslide victory and a majority government for the Conservative Party. Oh, I realized I gotta pick something up in here. So I'm walking this way for no reason, but when all this rhetoric started to happen against Canada, the tides changed. The Canadian Conservative leader was quiet for far too long, and a lot of the people in the center of the spectrum, I think, started leaning towards the Liberal Party, as two-week Trudeau was kind of saying and doing all the right things. Yeah, I gotta head down and pick something up from the store. I just didn't want to buy it while I had the camera in hand, but that's about it. A little taste of what shopping is like. Don't forget to do your part and support Canadian. That's about it. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Back to the grocery store it is. Need to buy some frozen fruits for my smoothies. Anywho, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink!